AI is that which is going to make better version of ourselves. AI is transforming the world and the way things are going to, whether it is medical field or it is, so you talk about it, AI is bringing that change. AI is contributing in every field. So I see future is going to be very closely linked with the output that we can get with the help of AI. What brings you happiness is where your passion lies. So I think lot more talented people, passionate to do things, will do and excel far better in the fields they will go.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका ट्रू इंटरव्यू सीरीज के नए एपिसोड में, जहां हम मिलवाते हैं आपको एचआरस और इंडस्ट्री लीडर से और सीखते हैं उनके एक्सपीरियंसेस से वैल्यूएबल बिजनेस और करियर टिप्स। मैं हूं कुंवर वैभव सिंह, फाउंडर ऑफ TrueCV, एक प्लेटफॉर्म जो जॉब सीकर्स की हेल्प करता है इन रेज्यूमे राइटिंग, लिंक्डइन मेकओवर और इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन में, ताकि वो अपने करियर के लिए रेडी हो सके। आज हमारे साथ हैं एक ऐसे एचआर लीडर जिन्होंने अपना करियर शुरू किया इंडियन आर्मी में एज अ मेजर और वहां से ट्रांजिशन करके कॉर्पोरेट दुनिया में एक इंस्पायरिंग जर्नी बनाई। टीसीएस में इन्होंने कैंपस हायरिंग के लीड के तौर पे ज्वाइन किया और फिर बाद में मलेशिया, इंडोनेशिया और थाईलैंड के हेड एचआर तक का सफर तय किया। Then he joined as a global head at Newgen Software and currently working as head of human resources at Ingenuity Gaming. We are really honored to have him today at our studio. चलिए चलते हैं, जानते हैं उनकी जर्नी के बारे में, आर्मी लाइफ और कंपनी कल्चर के बारे में, और सीखते हैं कुछ रेज्यूमे राइटिंग और इंटरव्यू टिप्स। प्लीज वेलकम मिस्टर नरेंद्र सिंह चंदेल। Thank you so much, sir, for joining. It's pleasure to have you on our show.
Thanks, Vaibhav. Thanks for inviting me, and it's going to be wonderful to, responding to you. Hopefully, you'll not be brutal, but let's see.
नहीं, looking forward for discussion. सर, हमने तो बात की और आपकी जर्नी भी डिस्कस की. It has been an amazing जर्नी. थोड़ा सा व्यूअर्स के लिए थोड़ा सा अपने बारे में और अपनी जर्नी के बारे में बताइए.
So Vaibhav, I was born and brought up in a farmer's family in a very small village of about 500. Father and the family was very modest background, hand to mouth kind of situation in the beginning. I studied up till 5th class in a school which is now famous for the circumstances, but otherwise earlier Hindi medium Saraswati Shishu Mandir, because that was the only school we had in our village. And father had to really work hard to get three siblings we were, to get studied, but he had that passion to get us studied in a very nice boarding school. So obviously we had to send out of the village. So I did my schooling from again a government school, but fully sponsored by Ministry of Defense. Not many people know. There is a school called Ajmer Military School. And likewise, we have 5 military schools in India. They are fully sponsored by Ministry of Defense. So I did my schooling from 6th to 12th standard in military school. And then college from Commerce College, Jaipur, again a government college. This thing always haunted us when we were competing against, kids from little better to do families. Communication skill, which I was always kind of little apprehensive that I will be left behind, and I had to put more focus on, so I could be in at least a stage where I could be at the same level. And as regards, I think career wise, one of my uncle who was brigadier, he had huge influence over me, and the family situation was such that I needed to immediately get onto the job. So first attempt UPSC, and I was by God's grace, I don't think I had all those capabilities and qualities, but first attempt I cleared SSB. Of the 157 people which appeared in Bangalore SSB board, I was the only one who cleared. Army selection process is a little tricky, and then I got commissioned when I was 20 and a half years old. 5 years I served in infantry. and then obviously there was extension of tenure. So the battalion that I served is one of the oldest battalion of Indian Army. It is
Okay.
2nd Maratha Light Infantry, Kali Panchmi, we call it.
Hmm.
It is going to celebrate tricentenary now, completing 300 years.
Wow.
It is the battalion which fought for Shivaji Maharaj, Maratha Light Infantry, so Marathas.
Hmm.
And I think I had the great fortune to serve in one of the most of the difficult areas. I mean, when Ulfa was very active, Assam is where I started my army journey as lieutenant. Bongaigaon, Kokrajhar, Jorahat, that was the area that I served in. Moved to North Sikkim, which is equivalent to Siachen Glacier,
Hmm.
very high altitude, 20,000 feet
Feet.
height. Then I had opportunity to come and work in Army Headquarter Delhi, and then last posting I had was in Kupwara,
Acha.
Panchgaon, Trigaon. I think one of the most active area in J&K.
Hmm.
From there, I think it was a conscious decision because of family and in the pursuit of closer to parents and
Hmm.
kids that I did my management program and from Excel and then started my corporate journey with TCS.
Very nice. Great. So, what inspired you, to become an HR from that army background रहा आपका इतने टाइम तक? आपने बोला कि आपके लाइफ पे भी जो आपके अंकल ब्रिगेडियर थे उनका इन्फ्लुएंस था.
Yeah.
So was that a conscious decision या फिर it just HR that just happened?
Vaibhav, I think to your surprise, if the meaning of HR is human resource management, army officers are precisely doing that.
Correct.
And believe me or not, what corporate is trying to achieve, army has been replicating for multiple centuries. You see, human resource management is all about how do you keep your people, which are the most important resources of the organization, motivated. In absence of motivation, they are not going to get extraordinary results. Now imagine the most important requirement of an army officer without having to monetarily or materialistically reward anybody, should be able to motivate those soldiers and himself to go to those hostile environments ready to take the bullet, not expecting anything. I mean, you look at the motivation that army officer can infuse in people. If you can infuse even 10% of that in corporates, imagine the kind of results you're going to get. Look at performance management. One person not performing from the team of 20 is going to get all 19 succumb to injuries. Here we are not even talking about injuries, but some delayed results, right? So human resource management for me, I think it was a fantastic, seamless transition from being an army officer, and it was a natural choice as it came. I think it is acceptance of the corporates that needs to now build up. That and with the schemes that are going on, like Agniveers, right? So that's a very recently launched scheme where even the non-commissioned officers, soldiers, are going to get relieved within 4 or 5 years. I think corporates have to agree first and understand that absorbing them is going to benefit them. It's going to be investment initial few months, which is as it is going to be learning curve for anybody. But if you invest in the right people, it's going to reward you big time over a period of time. So it was, for me, I think it was a natural, seamless transition.
No, so that actually makes sense, and if people would understand it, it's gonna have a huge impact in the the culture of organization. So we'll come to that also, but before that, just to continue your journey, so what was your role when you joined TCS? कितने टाइम तक आपने वहाँ पे काम किया, and उसके बाद कहाँ ज्वाइन किया और अभी कहाँ पे हैं, and what was your role in the journey? We would like to know.
So Vaibhav, I think I was, like I said, I was campus placed in TCS.
Hmm.
HR was a natural choice, and I
Hmm.
joined Delhi branch,
Hmm.
which was a regional headquarter for North India.
Hmm.
And I started my journey as a campus lead,
अच्छा.
campus recruiter. Uh, and North India, TCS, and we are talking about 2007 and 8
Hmm.
years, where um, TCS was the only organization, I think still it is the only organization which did a very, very, um, you know, they did that, they undertook that Herculean task of accrediting the institutes, and
Hmm.
they do that hard work of assessing every institute and giving their name that we will come and hire from you
Hmm.
provided you meet these
Hmm.
standards. And it was a 3 days Herculean job of us to be accrediting those institutes. I think we were in the phase of accrediting the new institutes because TCS was growing
Yeah.
multifold. I think
Yeah.
while I served in TCS for about 10 years, within 10 years TCS grew from about 80,000 employees to 3,20,000 employees.
Hmm.
Revenue wise, almost about 6 times from
Hmm.
10 to 60. So it was a, and you needed, I mean, it is IT services. So
Yeah.
at the back of resources and,
Yes.
qualified resources. So accreditation was one aspect which I was fortunate enough to understand closely. Hiring from all reputed institutes, IITs, NITs, that's where I started my journey. Uh, but I have that habit of within 2 years, I oh, dil mange more and I want change. So I moved from campus recruitment to lateral recruitment, where I all that skill focused,
Right.
domain focused hiring, where I
Right.
invested a lot of time, energy. Then life continued. I moved into talent engagement, HR head in one of the country in South America,
Hmm.
legal and compliance head within South and North America. Then came back and did again recruitment head, but this time the task was, I think, 10 times more when I
Hmm.
came back in 2012, if I remember, from South America.
Hmm.
And we were doing about 6,000, 7,000 freshers a year, another 4 5,000 thousand laterals a year.
Hmm.
And TCS North India grew to almost like 35,000 employees, and hence you needed those many
Yeah.
resources to be added. The last role with TCS I had was as head of HR for Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, three countries,
Hmm.
based out of Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
And that was a very interesting journey that I had.
Hmm.
From there, I switched to a company which is a product company. Newgen Software Technologies
Hmm.
is again recruitment and resource management.
Hmm.
This also, I think, Newgen had presence at that time in about 16 countries,
Hmm.
and so that's their presence, and almost to 30 countries they were having
Yeah.
clients.
Hmm.
So it was also again, you know, great opportunity to interact with
Right.
teams which are based in multiple geographies, right?
Hmm.
And then Ingenuity was Ingenuity is a wonderful tenure.
Yeah.
Last almost 5 years that I have been as head of HR,
Right.
which is very specifically focused in building casino and gambling games for
Hmm.
regulated markets. So it's a
Hmm.
very niche
Niche.
segment that we operate.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I think you've been into talent acquisition for quite some time,
Yeah.
or so kind of platform we have TrueCV where we help people in getting ready for job. So आपका जो exposure रहा है, it's really gonna be really helpful for people who are watching. So अपनी रिक्रूटमेंट जर्नी में मुझे बताइए कि क्या चेंज आपने उन 10 सालों में देखा हायरिंग में, जब आपने टीसीएस ज्वाइन किया था और आप रिक्रूटमेंट करते थे, और 10 साल बाद या फिर अगर आज भी आप करते हैं, तो इन 15 सालों में, 20 सालों में, 10 सालों में क्या डिफरेंस आपने देखा है हायरिंग में?
Yeah. Sea change, Vaibhav,
हम्म.
and I, I am myself kind of wow that, and all changes have happened for good.
हम्म.
Believe me.
हम्म.
So look, I think engineering was a new industry, both as IT services that required engineers,
जी
and colleges that were getting established to fulfill the needs of IT industry. Earlier, it was core branches, right?
हाँ
Chemical, metallurgy, electrical, electronics and
right
communications. Those were the core branch. Civil. These were
civil
the branches that were in demand earlier. And if you see, for students, there has been a sea change. And now, within engineering, if you see computer science, AI, data analytics, robotics, machine learning, you see digital
Right.
technologies that itself is by itself
Correct.
bigger than the core branches that erstwhile used to be there. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's how students and their education and the likelihood of taking which branch has changed. There's a sea change
Yeah.
in how students are adopting for which branch.
Hmm.
Right? Now, obviously, there was a demand from the IT services companies and couple of very few product companies. Hence, you needed so many engineers to fulfill those. Mushrooming of colleges happened. Yeah, but if you see, mostly those colleges were in tier 1 cities, and because companies were in tier 1
Yeah.
cities, the natural absorption from those tier 1 cities and tier 1 colleges was higher. But I think what has changed for good is, Vaibhav, that in last 10 years, if I can say, from the bulk hiring, the shift is drastic towards skill based, capability based, uh, immaterial of which place you are located. If you have the potential, you will get placed. You will certainly get placed, because initial 3 steps that required your presence to be closer to company has vanished. Most of the organizations now have virtual tests conducted, hackathons, or whichever form they are doing it. First and second level of interviewers are normally virtually conducted, and final selection interview is when you can easily travel to their location, or they are willing to come closer to your location. So I think talent hiring has drastically shifted from bulk, which was closer to tier 1 cities, to wherever you are, from name of the college to individually what skill you carry, and more importantly, your genuine inclination to be able to code or make difference in IT space. Because there was a lack of supply, I remember myself, we used to pick up civil, electronics engineers without even hesitation, because you are from some college names. But now I want, because unless you clear that coding exam at first stage, it'll be difficult for me to, so we want closer to what we need. And for that, you need to be really upping the skill.
सो तो जैसा आपने बताया, और आई थिंक ये हम लोगों ने भी देखा हुआ है कि एक टाइम था और ये बड़ा फेमस उससे कहा था कि टीसीएस आती थी और सब कुछ
ट्रक में भर के ले
जाते थे।
आई एग्री।
मैकेनिकल और सिविल और कंप्यूटर साइंस तो ऑब्वियसली वहाँ तो देखना ही नहीं होता था।
हाँ।
जो अब आपने बोला कि ये चेंज हो गया, 2 चीज़ें चेंज हुई है। एक तो अब आपको वो देखा जाता है कि वो स्किल, बिकॉज अब इतने सारे कॉलेजेस और सप्लाई इतनी ज़्यादा हो गई है दैट यू नीड टू प्रूव दैट यू आर गुड। What they need to do as a candidate, as a fresher, as a student, somebody who is starting. तो देखिए, इसमें तो 2 चीज़ मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ कि क्या आज भी वो बीटेक करना ज़रूरी है कि नहीं, और अगर वो बीटेक कर रहा है या कुछ और कर रहा है तो उसको क्या करना चाहिए कि वो उसको अभी से पता हो कि वो तैयारी करे कि टीसीएस या ऐसी जो भी बड़ी कंपनियां हैं वो जब आएंगी तो क्या देखेंगी।
अभी भी बल्क हायरिंग मॉडल एग्जिस्ट करता है, और कंपनियों के वो नॉर्म्स दैट यू नीड बेसिक क्वालिफिकेशंस टू बी एलिजिबल टू अप्लाई, वो एग्जिस्ट करता है 90% ऑफ द कंपनीज, वेदर इट इज टीसीएस, इन्फोसिस, एचसीएल। आई मीन बीटेक इज मस्ट, और वो चाहिए होगा आपको। एंड आई थिंक टू गेट that kind of job where you can be in any of the production support, maintenance, testing, basic level coding jobs, you need to prepare in certain ways, which is elementary knowledge of coding,
Hmm.
how to crack that analytical test, which is with bit of preparation you can easily crack it. Huh?
Hmm.
I think, and that's going to remain because uh, whatever we may say, while AI will take its own course to make low-level jobs redundant, but it's still, we're talking about like 10 years ahead of us. So those jobs are going to remain, and that way of cracking it is going to remain. However, there are dream jobs
Hmm.
which are research oriented,
Hmm.
which are futuristic technologies, right?
Hmm.
Somebody who's designing the AI platform for others to use. If those kind of jobs is your inclination, then it requires a very different level of planning and preparation.
Hmm.
And one has to be very confident that, first and foremost, I think to start with, one has to be passionate that he or she wants to be in that league. Yeah. Once you have decided and you're sure that you want to be in that league, then preparation is of a different level where you should be least working on cracking, uh, those rudimentary requirements of that. That's not necessary. Then it is all about your skill enhancement. Once you have very clear focus that data analytics I want to work on, then it's all about data analytics. Forget about anything, because um, look, while the requirements of job has changed, thankfully the process of selecting right candidates, which is skills of recruiters, has also evolved.
Hmm.
So we are in the process able to upgrade ourselves to identify the right skill.
Hmm.
So if your skill is of that level, believe it, that system that has come up in the right companies uh, has improved itself to be able to identify your skill. So if you can prepare well and if you're passionate, you can take your skill to that level. Uh, have faith that you will be identified and picked.
एक सवाल मेरे दिमाग में आया that what if you would today go 20 years back and I'm saying army is not an option, आपको corporate में करना है, so आप क्या कोर्स परस्यू करते और या फिर किस फील्ड में जाते? एज एन एचआर अब आपने दुनिया देख ली, किसको ज़्यादा सैलरी मिलती है, किस में काम क्या रहता है, किस में स्कोप ज़्यादा है, सब कुछ करके. सो इफ़ यू हैव टू out of syllabus question and if you have
No,
to go back.
it's very valid question, and I think like you said, I think a lot of us, once they've reached this stage, I think money would not be in first 2-3 things that that would
choose a career.
Yeah, I want, seriously I want. So
इसलिए मैंने आर्मी हटा दिया.
हाँ, तो मनी तो कहीं क्राइटेरिया आसपास में भी नहीं है. I would, if so, frankly speaking, maybe because of the association with the army, I will still be a little biased towards army. But I think I'm not going. So first preference still is going to be that. But I think that will be a little biased preference. So if I had to become, I would have chosen any course that would have made me a better teacher. And I'm pursuing PhD for only one objective. That, see, I come from a village, so there is an association with, and the deprivation that with the lack of opportunities I have seen around where I live. If I have an opportunity, and I'm sure I will for sure, I would want to go back and mentor those kids who have that spark and help them to come at same level, to be able to compete and grab the right opportunities in the world. By virtue of they not being mentored and the availability of somebody being able to tell them what they can do for the skills they possess. So now I think with time, we can easily evaluate in 4-5 days what are the competencies and skills and strengths a person has, with the background that we've come up now. So it will be easy for me to mentor for these strengths and hence suggest the right opportunity for the kid. If that difference I can make, I'm sure we with whatever minuscule difference we can make, I'm sure we will see lot more talented people, passionate to do things, will do and excel far better in the fields they will go.
So I think abhi, the kind of level you are at, your thought is maybe a lot influenced by giving back to the society, and that is the reason why you are here also, to talk about and share and tell people what to do. So मैं इस सवाल को थोड़ा सा चेंज करूँगा कि अगर आज कोई 12th पास स्टूडेंट है और उसको डिसाइड करना है कि क्या करियर मैं चूज करूं, और उसके दिमाग में जो हम पहले भी बात कर रहे थे कि सभी के दिमाग में अभी तो गेट रिच क्विक ही चल रहा होता है इन देयर अर्ली 20s, और उसमें किसी के पास टाइम भी नहीं होता है, मतलब उनको ये भी लगता है कि यार ये ग्रेजुएशन भी सर पे बोझ ही है, कैसे ये 3 साल खत्म हो, और अगर पीजी करनी है तो 2 साल, तो बस वो 20 के हैं या 18 के हैं तो जल्दी से अपना कौन सा ऐसा कोर्स करें, और हो सकता है वो एक कोई शॉर्ट कोर्स हो जो उनको करने से मिल सकता है. व्हाट विल हेल्प देम टू गेट द बेस्ट salary in the market, or a good or a decent salary in the market? What should they do?
I mean, if becoming rich is the only criteria, and
good salary,
that will lead to success. I would say still, I think anything related to, because see, where you are ahead of the curve, I think that's very important to understand. AI is transforming the world, and the way things are going to, whether it is medical field or it is, so you talk about it, AI is bringing that change. Anything closer to getting expertise in AI is going to help people become ahead of the curve, is what I would feel. Rich hona ya na hona, I think let's grant it something to the nakshatra and stars also, Vaibhav. But I think it is not important, and I think we've reached that age where we can confidently talk about it, that after a while it's only going to become some more number. That's it. I think what brings you happiness is where your passion lies. So I think, और वो 12th तक पहुंचते पहुंचते मुझे लगता है with the Gen Z that we are seeing, they're smart enough in identifying that, at least closer to what is their passion. So I don't think they should chase anything but their passion, and doesn't matter which field, and somebody likes to teach must actually pursue that, and I am very confident if he or she is going to pursue that, he or she is going to be a different level of a teacher, where money will still follow that person. So I don't think just to follow suit, you should still chase your passion.
बट जैसा कि अभी आप बता रहे थे, आपको एआई में वो पोटेंशियल लगता है, एनीथिंग टू व्हिच इज रिलेटेड टू एआई हैज अ फ्यूचर राइट नाउ?
I am very confident of it, because I think the existence of human race, see, humans is the probably last version of adoption, right? Adaptation, right? तो चाहे वो हमने एल्गी, मछली और वो पूरा साइकिल देख के, and finally chimpanzee, and so finally we are humans, and I think we have to, there is no reason that we can't and we should not become better versions of humans. And how do you become better versions of human? And this reminds me, there are two beautiful books, Homo sapiens and Homo deus. Beautiful two books. And he talks about from Stone Age and Iron Age and all that, to agriculture and industrialization, and finally the digitization phase that we are in. AI is that which is going to make better version of ourselves. And how? Look, the computing capability it brings, it is phenomenal. All you need to do is you are driving the AI outcomes and not other way around, right? That's the only check. I was watching one of the podcasts of Sundar Pichai very recently, and I think we humans have to put those checks and balances But barring that, I'm sure your health industry is already seeing a lot of transformation with the computing power and the experiments and all with the enabled AI enabled, you are able to conduct your the way you are teaching kids, the way you are undertaking your, building the softwares. You talk about it. I'm sure AI is contributing in every field. So I see future is going to be very closely linked with the output that we can get with the help of
Okay.
AI.
So now we'll move to the next section where we'll talk about the resume writing and interview preparation. But before that, there was one thing you mentioned कि हायरिंग प्रैक्टिसेस के बारे में और कैसे पहले टीयर 1 कॉलेजेस या फिर टीयर 1 सिटी के कॉलेजेस में थे, अभी आप बोल रहे हैं कि आप कोई किसी भी सिटी में है वहाँ तक भी आप पहुँचते हैं या फिर जो भी रिक्रूटमेंट हेड्स हैं वो पहुँचते हैं. सो व्हाट इज़ द मेथड, कैसे हायर करते हैं और कैसे उन तक पहुँचते हैं और कैसे कोई भी अप्लाई कर सकता है? आर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट द जॉब पोर्टल्स और इज देयर अ method where you take some technical rounds through some
Yeah.
other portals?
See, most of the, and in fact, all of the good organizations, Vaibhav, have to be able to apply in their entrance tests, which are normally coding tests, right? Uh, Microsoft, I was surprised that there is a college which is very closer to my village, has picked up a student from there. Is very, very far below in communication skill, got picked up. For the coding skills he has developed, right? And I was surprised that he has learned coding from the content which is freely available by a couple of IITs
On YouTube.
on YouTube.
Wow.
So that's the passion we're talking about. Now, coming back to the question, I think most of the organizations which are tier 1 organizations, which are dream organizations, so as to say, they have now tests which are easily accessible from any part of the country and any part of the world.
Generally on their portal.
You have to keep looking at it, and you register and apply. So that's so all you have to do is that you should be skilled enough to be able to crack it. That's one. Second, I think Vaibhav, there is a related sequence that a student, if I have to advise, there is a sequence that a student has to follow. See, first and foremost, you want yourself to be shortlisted. For that, CV is very important. There is a way in which you have to create your CV. If you had opportunity to work in organizations which are brands, then recruiters' attention should get attracted towards brands. If you somehow lack that, then any specific projects that you want to be highlighted, that see, it's all about attention and focus, and you get that 30 seconds from recruiters, right? To be able to get that attention and yourself stand out from the crowd, that 30-second is very important, and you need to understand that resume can be created in a way where you will stand out. So you have to learn that art. Second thing, I think, at the cost of, if ever my first recruiter is going to hear this, so and he was my boss also, Vivek. He was HR head of Suzlon, and so many tier 1 organization. He was my first boss when I joined TCS. I think if you're smart enough, you can trick your interviewer, Vaibhav, and I can so confidently talk about my own incident. So I appeared in this interview, and Vivek was my interviewer, who was my also boss. Narendra, so we are going to offer you so and so salary, 5, 6, whatever. Like I vaguely remember that. So that's going to be your CTC
in the beginning.
In the beginning, and you're aware of it. No, I mean, it was a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, that led to he shortlisting me for the interview.
Hmm.
And I said, because I wanted him to ask this question, and which is now I'm seeding in his mind. So I said, yeah, 6 lakh is sufficient at the end of the day. If you see, all of us have certain needs, our basic needs and job security. How, if you say these 2, 3 words and somebody is in HR, naturally that HR folk is going to pick up. Do you know about Maslow's theory of hierarchy? Now, by way of saying couple of words, you have seed in the question, which is next question that HR person is going to ask. Do you know about Maslow's theory of hierarchy? And that's the only theory. I mugged it up very carefully. If that was the question, obviously you're going to do well. And once you've explained that in detail, you have to identify how in the second answer you are going to seed something which is going to prompt the third question. And trust me, Vaibhav, it works. I have seen it.
या सो जब मैं जिक्र कर रहा था आपके साथ कि ड्यूरिंग दी ट्रिप आई यूज टू अभी भी विजिट करता हूँ जब मैं कॉलेज, तो मैं ये बोलता हूँ कि एक तो आपका सीवी जो नेविगेट करेगा और एक तो आपके जो जवाब रहेंगे वो नेविगेट
करेंगे।
वो कुछ तैयार करके नहीं आता है सिवाय इसके कि अपने बारे में आप बताइए,
बस।
उसके बाद तो जो आप बोलेंगे वो बताएगा। अगर आपने लिख दिया कि मुझे अपने सीवी में मुझे सांप पालने का शौक है, घड़ियाल पालने का शौक है, मुझे जहाज उड़ाने का शौक, कोई भी ऐसी चीज जिसपे उसका ध्यान जाएगा, ये नॉर्मल थोड़ी कोई बोलेगा अच्छा आपके ऐसे शौक है, ये हॉबी है, उसके बारे में बताइए। तो मैं कई बार कहता हूँ कि आप अगर आपके पास कोई कंटेंट, कोई एक्सपीरियंस कुछ नहीं है, तो वो हॉबी भी आप ऐसी मेंशन कर सकते हैं जिससे कि वो सवाल करें, वो आइस ब्रेक हो और वो डिस्कशन जो आपको अच्छे से आता है वो डिस्कशन लेके जाए। आप जो प्रोजेक्ट लिखेंगे, सो दिस इज व्हाई हम सीवी पे आ रहे थे, आपने बहुत अच्छे से उसका जिक्र ऑलरेडी कर दिया, और ड्यूरिंग द इंटरव्यूज आल्सो दैट इट्स वन ऑफ द बेस्ट एग्जांपल दैट आई हैव हर्ड फॉर इन अ लॉन्ग टाइम, दैट हाउ टू नेविगेट द इंटरव्यू by saying the right thing.
Seeding the question. Absolutely. One can do that. And you rightfully said, I think sometimes, and that's what I was saying, the attention span is very limited. Whether it is for interviewer or it is for recruiter who's shortlisting your resume, attention span is very limited. Something you have to do, and you can carefully craft that within your resume that will prompt those questions. And then you can direct your answers towards it, right?
So थोड़ा बात करते हैं आपके फेवरेट क्वेश्चंस में. What you talk apart from the first question कि अपने बारे में बताइए या tell me about yourself. What are your favorite questions that you like to ask about when you want to know about the candidate?
See, I think I have truly always believed that technologies, and which is true also, technologies will keep changing. Skill can be taught. It is actually the softer skills, the personality traits, Vaibhav, resilience. And see, every interviewer will have their own way of checking it, but I recommend highly, at least to HR professionals, that they must check people on the personality traits. Like resilience is something which I so firmly believe that if you don't have resilience, I think you are going to be always in depression kind of situation, that oh my god, what has happened. And you need those skills, that how that person has bounced back every time was knocked off, right? You need somebody to be consistent. You need that discipline element in personality. Culture fitment is all about those attributes and their liking towards those value systems that organization strongly believes in. So Vaibhav, I think if I focus maybe 20% to 25% time on checking and matching the skills, 70-75% of my time goes in whether the person will be adaptable, will have that hunger to learn,
Hmm.
will have that resilience,
Hmm.
consistency of performance,
Hmm.
discipline. If I am able to get that personality, and I like to talk, at least now with the roles that we are playing, it is not it is difficult to
Yeah.
be able to interview everybody, but
Yeah.
at least to senior folks that we get in the organization, I focus a lot of time on that.
So what you ask, what is the question that if you want to know the resilience of the person?
There are situations, mostly there are ways in which I'm trying to pry out, but mostly, and that I strongly believe, past performance is the only and strong predictor of future performance, right? So mostly I will try out and pry out information through what had happened to you, where you felt low, and what has given you that energy, and to come back. So there will be different situations in which those questions will be asked, but normally it is to pry out that information, what has happened in the past, that shows that you were resilient. Format is going to be normally the same. Yeah.
So हम अपने उसमें बताते हैं कि आंसर दिस विद द स्टार मेथड, पता नहीं अगर आपने ये सुना है कि नहीं,
सुना है.
सिचुएशन, टास्क, एक्शन एंड रिजल्ट वाले
Result.
थिंग.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to analyze,
Yes.
the trait of a
It's
person.
about. Yeah.
Any exceptional answer of the same question, if you remember, what somebody has told you, कोई ऐसा जवाब जो आपने सुना हो किसी कैंडिडेट का, कि कैंडिडेट के जाने के बाद भी आप ये अभी तक याद हो?
आज तक resonate करता हो, something like that.
हाँ.
So it happened in South America. I think I was interviewing for a project manager. Obviously I can't name the person.
Absolutely, yeah.
The person lost his family in one of the accident, the sole survivor. And it just so happened that within few months of losing his family, he lost his fiancée also. You can imagine the pain that guy was going through. He was on the verge of committing suicide, and he has told upfront about it. From there, he bounced back. And he picked up project management course. He became one of the successful project manager. And Vaibhav, I still remember the exact answer that the person gave. It was a true story of resilience. It was a true story of how one realized that external realities can only have limited impact. It is the inner strength which a person has to identify and excel in the world. Amazing. I don't think I'm going to forget that answer in that person. So people have gone through a lot, and some of them are really bright stars.
तो क्या बोला था उसने, आपको exactly याद है?
See, it is about, I think he was identifying. So while this was going through, he obviously, that was a darkest chapter in his life, and he went in that kind of being lonely for a few days. What was more important was that he persuaded an objective for the happiness that he lost. He wanted to fulfill the unfulfilled desires that each of his family member and fiancée had, and that gave him strength to bounce back. So for example, his father always wanted to own a car, one model of the car. He wanted to bounce back to own that car for the happiness of his father. His mother wanted to have certain things. His fiancée wanted to go to places. He bounced back to fulfill the desires of his fiancée to be able to travel to that place for her. That gave him that energy to, or that to bounce back.
So I think it's a beautiful end to this conversation, and but with this story. But in the last, I would like you to give the real advice to people who are actually struggling either to get a job if they are fresher, and obviously जब आपके चाहे घर में दिक्कत हो और आपके पास जॉब नहीं हो, वो लोग आपको डेली लोग देख रहे हैं और बोल रहे हैं कि क्या कर रहा है, somebody who is not getting a call, or if there is someone who is not making enough money and trying to switch, somebody's stuck in a toxic environment, or somebody stuck in a job which he or she doesn't like, ऐसे टाइम पे जैसे टाइम की आप बात कर रहे थे, मतलब कई बार इंसान वाकई बहुत टूट जाता है और
Frustrated.
परेशान हो जाता है।
Yeah.
कुछ लोगों से मैं बात करता हूँ जो ट्रू सीवी के रेफरेंस में कभी कॉल आती है या मेरे से किसी से बात होती है, और वो वाकई बहुत परेशान होते हैं, उनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा था कि क्या करें, मतलब उन्हें लगता है कई बार कि क्या सीवी में चेंज करूँ कहीं में, और वो कई बार बहुत कुछ कर रहे होते हैं, कई कोर्सेज कर रहे होते हैं जो उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा होता,
Yeah.
कई
Just for
जगह
the sake
वहां
of it.
जस्ट फॉर
Yeah.
उनको बस क्योंकि कोई कॉल आई, उसने प्रॉमिस करिया इस कॉलेज से आप एमबीए कर लो, एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए, इस कॉलेज से आप ये डिप्लोमा ले लो, इस कॉलेज से ये कर लो और आपको इतने लाख का पैसा, वो तो सेल्समैन है,
No. Yeah. Yeah.
उसका तो कोर्स बेचना है।
Yes.
वो व्यक्ति पैसा जुटाता है 10 लाख 12 लाख 15 लाख उसमें इन्वेस्ट करता है, ये
Yeah.
सोचते हुए कि मुझे इतनी सैलरी मिलेगी, और फिर नहीं होता है, और उस टाइम पे वो व्यक्ति बहुत परेशान होता है। कई बार तो मुझे भी ऐसा लगता है कि मैं कैसे समझाऊं या क्या मदद करूं।
Yeah.
सो व्हाट शुड अ पर्सन डू दैट इन सिनेरियो? मुझे लगता है आपको शायद दो तरीके से बताना होगा, एक फॉर द फ्रेशर लुकिंग आउट फॉर अ जॉब,
Yeah.
somebody is not getting a job, what they should do,
Yeah.
and then somebody experienced who is stuck at the position, what that he or she should do.
Yeah. So, Vaibhav, I think, and pardon me for this because my exposure and all most of my answers have been very limited towards uh, IT industry because that's where
जी,
I have
जी,
worked
जी,
in, right?
जी,
But I'm sure they will be relevant to any industry. But
जी,
for the sake of clarity, I've because like let's say course or anything that you talked about, I am only assuming we are talking about IT related courses, and hence my answer will be that.
जी,
So, Weber, I think for freshers, the only advice I have is pursue the passion that you have.
हम्म,
If you have passion for and genuine passion for IT industry, only then pursue because within 20 years things have just turned around. Now the core industry, you see more civil jobs are now available because of the infrastructure uptake that India is undertaking. Electronics, more jobs now. So it's a tide you can't always because it has to somewhere will see the downturn. So I think freshers, if they have to stand out, they will have to pursue the passion where they truly wants to belong, what is going to drive. And once you have decided, it's not going to be immediate fourth year exercise that I prepare myself. I think the journey begins at least from 11th and 12th standard, right? If not that, at least from first and second year of the college. Communication skills are important. All those personality traits that I talked about are important. But to clear interview, what is more, so they are important to be successful. They are not important to crack the job. For cracking the job or interview, I think one must do relevant courses which fulfills the need to get the first job, whether it is for AI, for data analytics, or any of the digital forces, or Java, for example. You will have to upskill yourself. Competition is very high, Vaibhav. And last 3 years that we are seeing, market is kind of after COVID, that global recession phase. Then what followed for last almost 2.5 years, market is very difficult for freshers. Hence, they have to find out right skills to be able to position themselves which are above than the crowd, right? That's for them. Second, about laterals, all I am going to say is I think environment, boss, because of which most of the people are frustrated and they see toxicity in the environment. See, job is equally important. I don't want to say that you have to suffer beyond a point, but you will not find everything positive even in your, I mean, there's no guarantee that where you land up.
Yeah.
So I'm nowhere suggesting that you need to exist in the toxic environment. All you have to do is keep building on your strengths, and I'm sure it is a matter of time. Have faith in yourself, have faith in God,
Yeah.
have faith in what you truly believe in. Things will turn around, and until the things turn around, have that inner strength to survive a little bit of beyond a point. I agree. I mean, you shouldn't survive in toxic environment, otherwise it's going to make you degraded version of yourself, which is not what we desire.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insight.
Thanks,
I'm
Vaibhav.
sure बहुत सारे लोगों को बहुत हेल्प मिलेगी, और ये वीडियो रहेगी ऑनलाइन हमेशा, और जब भी लोग देखेंगे तो उनको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. So thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Thank you for having me here. It is an absolute pleasure and privilege to be with you. Thank you.
तो दोस्तों, आशा करता हूँ आपको आज का एपिसोड पसंद आया होगा. डोंट फॉरगेट टू सब्सक्राइब टू अवर चैनल so that you don't miss such insightful future interviews. And for resume writing in LinkedIn Makeover, log into truecv.com. मिलते हैं आपसे अगले एपिसोड में. तब तक के लिए टेक केयर, कीप लर्निंग, कीप ग्रोइंग.